Now, if you're not on TikTok, or more specifically BookTok, you might have missed the rise of something called romantasy.
Yes, it's a hot new genre of steamy, erotic fiction about fairies and mythical creatures that completely cast a spell on Gen Z.
I'm going to talk a little bit about romantasy.
Got the horses in the back, horse stock is attached.
Which is romance fantasy hybrid, which is the biggest selling genre in books around the world. I mean, crazily huge numbers.
Ain't been up off that porch now. Can't nobody tell me nothing.
You need to read these. I have not known a moment of peace since reading these books. They are all that I think about. They have consumed my soul.
Wish I could roll on back to that old town road.
This is ruining my life.
I can't imagine a life where I'm not thinking about ACTA. I am obsessed.
I'm gonna ride till I can't.
Relish every page because I can't say goodbye to these characters.
Old town road, I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
Wow. I mean, during the production meeting this morning, Alice was talking all about her book club. Everybody's watching.
They're obsessed.
Everybody is obsessed. So we need to know why. So Nick Ferrari's been doing a bit of bedtime reading for us. Nick, over to you.
It was soft, tentative, nothing like the wild, hard kisses we'd shared in the hall of the throne room. He brushed his lips against mine again. I didn't want apologies, didn't want sympathy or coddling. I gripped the front of his tunic, tugging him closer as I opened my mouth to him.
I mean, it's a version of CBeebies bedtime stories, isn't it? I mean, the Nick Ferraris...
That's what the LBC listeners get on a daily basis when they wake up with Nick. Nick, thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, darling.
It is fascinating to hear it being read out, and Nick did a wonderful job. It's not just the book sales that are soaring, though. The mystical community says there's been a real-life fairy revival, too.
Yes, so joining us now is a fairy whisperer, Karen Kay, to tell us more. Hi, Karen.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So tell me a little bit about when this obsession began for you. Were you little?
So, just to clarify, the obsession with fairies rather than the romantasy genre
yes.
initially. But yeah, it started when I was a little girl in my grandmother's garden. I was probably 2 or 3 years old, and I remember being in the garden with her collecting rose petals to make perfume for the flower fairies. I put them in a pot, mushed them all up, and leave them out overnight, and then the next day when I would go and check, it would always be gone. And the more scientifical, if that is a word, minded of people might say that that's because the water evaporated, but I know that the fairies absorb that energy even at that tender age.
So that was what got you kind of interested, that was what fueled the fire. And then, did you study? What did you do?
They just took over my life. I can't really see a chronological order in which things happened. I remember I would perceive them as points of light, so I would actually see them dancing around, these points of light that I knew were fairies, and I was too young to have the ego kick in and question it. It was just a natural occurrence, supernatural if you like. It was super and it was natural. It didn't feel weird or unusual or spooky. It was just a part of my life. And they stayed with me. There was a stage when I was a teenager and you get your rebellious stage on, and I was a punk and a goth, and I was like, fairies are not cool, but they still didn't go away. And at one point I even dressed as like a goth fairy and was called the fairy goth mother. And yeah, they just stayed with me, and so their influence is very magical, very unexpected, very spontaneous, hence I'm here now, which is definitely fairy magic. And they just have had a really beautiful effect on my life.
Yeah. I think it's the first time our producers that booked you would have been called fairy magic. But I like the idea that you feel like there's something else that has led you to be here, to be part of this story. You're a fairy whisperer, but what we've heard from Nick is this absolute sort of explosion in this form of fiction.
Yeah.
What do you make of it, and what sort of impact has it had on you?
So, if you'd asked me to come and talk about this a year ago, I would have politely declined, because I felt like it was going to impact the work that I do and the message of the fairies in a negative way. But actually it's done the opposite. It's opened the metaphorical fairy door, if you like, and I'm finding more and more people are approaching me and asking me is this a real thing? Are fairies real? And I'm like, hey, you're in the right place. Yes, they are. They are real. They are not fantasy. And this is a thing that some people can't get their heads around. So really, it's been a very positive thing.
Well, what we've heard from our producer Alice and her book club, and then we heard from Nick as well, is a lot of this fiction is very, very racy and erotic as well, though. I mean, it feels like these fairies, they are quite frisky. I mean, there's definitely that part of it. It feels like there's quite a lot of adult content in there.
Yeah, well, people want escapism. I would imagine that predominantly the readership is female, although not excluding males wanting to read it as well. And women tend to want more than just the rough physical aspect of connection, shall we say, intimate connection. And so this genre is taking us into different realms that we can safely explore. It's not to be frowned upon. It's something that everybody has in them, some more than others. And it's a safe space to explore this escapism, if you like.
Margot Robbie's a fan, Taylor Swift's a fan. They're all fans of it, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then have you found that there are more people taking an interest in then doing workshops with you? How do you kind of do those workshops?
Yeah, so people are coming to me, and a lot of people, and even my nail texts talk about romantasy and the books that we're talking about. And they're like, you've got to read them, you've got to read them. So I have been listening on Audible. And so everybody's coming to me saying, we've read the books, we want to dive deeper. And then they found my book, Fairy Whispering, and then they've found practical ways that they can actually connect with fairies in reality, in real time. And so I have seen an increase in people coming to me, contacting me, messaging me on social media, emailing me, just wanting more because, wow, if this is the fantasy, what is the reality? And the reality is just incredible.
So what do you say to people who will be sitting there going, oh, for heaven's sake, it's just it's a genre of literature that people can enjoy. It's just imagination. It's not real. What on earth are you doing?
Yeah. Well, look, I hear it a lot. I hear people, she's away with the fairies and other things that I can't mention on air. And I really don't mind because I'm simply sharing my experiences of the magic of fairies within my own life and how that's impacted me. I'm not causing anyone any harm. I'm simply sharing. And you'd be quite surprised. There are a lot of people who have had fairy experiences, many of whom are fearful to speak about it for fear of ridicule.
Yeah.
I came out of the fairy closet a few years ago, so I'm past that point now. They can say what they like. I don't mind. I'm happy.
So if somebody wanted to get involved, how do they manage to talk to the fairies? How do they do that? What are the tips?
So there are quite a few. Obviously, there's 111 in my book. I won't list them now.
Yes, The Magical Practice of Connecting with Fairies. This is your book here, 111 of them. But what would be your top three, maybe? OK,
so top three, get out into nature if you're able to. I realise that not everybody's able to, and not everybody is blessed to have a woodland 5 minutes from their home. I am. I'm so grateful for that. But get out into nature, and if you can't get out there physically, then we can do it through a meditation. Also, look after the environment, and that might sound boring and practical, and it is. The environmental aspect is huge, as we know, in the world at this time. The fairies are primarily guardians of nature, and magic is a beautiful byproduct of what they are. So we can pick up litter when we're out, we can change our household products for more environmental ones. We can do lots of practical things as well.
OK.
How many tips is that?
That was 2.
OK,
got another
3. We can manifest with fairies, and you might see that I've got these little golden keys.
Yes.
So we'll do something with those shortly where we can actually manifest with them, and we'll do this in a meditation in our minds.
Well, let's do it now.
OK,
do it.
What do we need to do to...
Right, well, I'm going to hand you these magical golden keys.
Thank you.
And what they do, what they represent is the key to your hopes, your wishes and your dreams. And I can take you through a very quick meditation, if you like.
Do it. Hopes, wishes and dreams.
Hopes, wishes and dreams. Something that is really, really means a lot to you. Just think of one thing for now. Bring it to mind, bring it into your heart. And then, if you feel comfortable and able to do so, close your eyes and take a deep breath in Breathing in, love, light, peace, joy and harmony. And as you breathe out, release any cares or concerns. And then breathe in again. And this time we're breathing in your hopes and your wishes. Think of one thing for now, something that you would like to manifest in this world. And the viewers at home can do this too. You can focus on this golden key here, if you can see it, and just bring to mind, focus all of your attention and energy on the golden key. This is symbolic of your hopes, your wishes and your dreams. And then we're going to ask the Fairy Queen to come in and shower her beautiful fairy blessings over your wishes. And we ask that they come true for the highest good of all.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, look, Karen, if West Ham get 3 points on the weekend, I'm all in.
Well,
that's what I wish for. Hopes and dreams right here.
Let's see, we'll check in on Monday with you.
It's been lovely to meet you. Thank you for coming in and sharing a little bit of insight from your world as well. Like you say, you're not doing anyone any harm. You're just really enjoying sharing it with other people.
I'm loving life.
And loving
loving
Oh,
life.
hello.
Amazing.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.